everyone, welcome to His Arrows, Our Hands. If we haven't met before, my name is Celeste. In this video, I'm going to be showing a look inside the Exploring World Geography curriculum by Notgrass History. We are using this curriculum with our 9th grader this year. We have just wrapped up Unit 9, and I thought it'd be a good time to show a look inside and share our thoughts about the curriculum. Last year was our first time using the curriculum. We used the Uncle Sam and You civics curriculum for the middle school level, and it worked really well for us, so we thought we'd try it again and look into their world geography course for the high school level. So far, it has worked really well. We are really enjoying the course. I wanted to definitely share it with you to show you kind of how it's laid out, the different components, to see if it's something that maybe might work for your family in case you are looking for options for world geography for the high school level. On their website, Notgrass shares that they do have social studies courses for the 4 years of high school available. In case you're looking for something that's not world geography, they have Exploring World History. They also have this course, Exploring World Geography, Exploring America, which is their US history course. And then they also have 2 half-year courses, which is Exploring Government and Exploring Economics. Notgrass shares on their website that if you complete all the components of this course, 3 credits are World Geography, English, and Worldview. So I shared in our 9th grader curriculum choices that we also decided to add a little more to the English credit because the English component of this course is very focused on literature, so we wanted to add a little more to it. So if you'd like to see what other components we added to the English credit, I'll be sure to link our 9th graders curriculum choices in case you'd like to check it out. There is one additional component that we added to this course. It's the only thing I felt was maybe missing or that I would like to see as part of a world geography course. So at the end of the video, I'll share what that additional component that we added in kind of to round out the course. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you a look inside this curriculum. Okay, so these are the components of the course. There are 2 textbooks. There is a part 1 and there is a part 2. Also is a Gazetteer textbook, a student review book, and then there is also the quiz and exam book and also the answer key for parents. I'm going to show you a look inside each one of these books. Also is an additional literature component. It does have additional literature books, which I'll also show you a few of those as well. We are also utilizing a 3-subject notebook along with the course. These are the 2 textbooks that are used in the course. Part 1 covers units 1 to 15 and part 2 covers units 16 to 30. The table of contents, when you open the book, you see that part 1, Unit 1 is Welcome to Your World. Unit 2 is It Begins with a Map. Unit 3 is the Middle East Part 1. Unit 4 is the Middle East Part 2. Unit 5 is North Africa. Unit 6, West Africa. 7 is Central Africa. 8 is East Africa. Unit 9 covers Southern Africa. 10 is Southern Europe. 11 is Western Europe. 12 is Northern Europe. So you see it goes through all the different areas. 13 continues to Eastern Europe. 14 is Russia. And then book 1 finishes with the Arctic and the Antarctic. In part 2, which covers the second half of the course, the second book starts with Unit 16. And Unit 16 is South Asia. 17 is Central Asia. 18 is East Asia. 19 covers China. 20 covers Southeast Asia, 21 is Australia and New Zealand. Unit 22 covers the Pacific and its islands. 23 is North America Part 1, continues in 24 with North America Part 2. 25 covers the area of Central America. 26 looks at the Caribbean. Unit 27 covers South America Part 1, and it continues in Unit 28 with South America Part 2. 29 is the People of the World, and the course finishes with Unit 30, World Geography and You. I'm going to come back to book 1 just to show you a little more detailed look into how a unit is laid out and how lessons are kind of laid out in the components. Also how the other books of the course are incorporated. But when you open up the first book, it does talk about how to use this curriculum. So there is some information about that. Also some advice on writing. There also is some information on how to write a research paper in case you would like to have your child also write a research paper. Here is also a list of the assigned literature for the course. I mentioned there are these books that are part of the course, not included. You would buy them separately. I mentioned in our ninth graders curriculum choices that I was able to find a lot of these books used, which help us cut costs. Also, a few are available at our local library. So I encourage you to check that out if you're looking to also find these in a little more cost-effective way. Every single unit begins with kind of this introductory page. There are 5 lessons within every single unit, and then every unit ends with a quiz at the very end. So you see here, it gives you kind of an overview of these lessons. The way that each unit is laid out, the first 4 lessons of every unit have a world geography focus. The final lesson of every single unit is your world view lesson for the units. Also, as part of the unit introduction, there also is this kind of introductory page. There is a memory verse that goes with every single unit. So your child will memorize 1 verse within every unit. I also show you the books that are going to be used in this unit. And also there is a project component. So at the beginning of every unit, your child will choose one of these projects to complete, or you can assign them one, and that will be due at the end of the unit. And then it also does give you an introduction, the literature book that will be read during that unit. So here's a look at the first lesson. The book is laid out very beautifully. It's very nice and clear. It has very nice illustrations. And so your child can read through it, or you can read through it with your child. At the end of every single lesson, their child will see this assignments box. So it tells them what their assignments are for every lesson. So it's laid out very nice and easy, very clear. It tells them their question for worldview. So every single day they will have a worldview question that then they will write in their notebook. Also ask them to choose their project and start working on it. And also does give them their literature assignment, again, which is the books that they'll be reading. And then it tells them to answer the questions in the student review. I mentioned that there is this additional student review book. So just to give you an example of how that's laid out, this is where your child would go in and they would look in Unit 1, Lesson 1, and then these are the questions that they would be answering. So what we have done is, as I mentioned, we are using a 3-subject notebook. And what I quickly did was just jot it down for my son as a point of reference that section 1 is where he'll be doing all his world geography. So for example, where he will be doing all of those questions from the student review book, he puts that in section 1 each day. Section 2 is where he will be doing English, and I'll get into a little bit of that with the literature. And then section 3 is where he would do that worldview question each day. So keeps things nice and organized. And again, a 3-subject notebook has worked really well for this course. Going a little further into the book, this is lesson 22, which covers the area of South Africa. And again, at the very end of this lesson, there's an example that it tells you to go into the Gazetteer book and read the entries for Egypt, Libya, and Sudan. That is when your child would go ahead and grab this book here, the Gazetteer, and then go into that portion of the book, reading those pages. So he would read about Egypt, about Libya. They do have really nice maps here, and then about Sudan as well. So that would be an example of what he can find in this Gazetteer book. Again, another example of a worldview question that he would put into his worldview notebook, continue working on his project, continue reading his literature, and then answering the questions from his student review book for world geography. At the end of every unit, as I mentioned, there is a world geography quiz. So after every 5 units, there is a world geography exam. There is also a literature exam, which covers the books that he has read in those units, as well as a worldview exam. In total, there'll be 30 world geography quizzes and 6 worldview, world geography, and literature exams. And again, those are separate exams for each one of those credits, which is very nice. Makes it very easy to organize and separate out the grades to the 3 credits that are part of this course. As I mentioned, there is a literature component to this course, which is part of that English credit. The way that it's laid out, when your child finishes one of the literature books, in the student review book is a literary analysis so that the child will read, and then there are questions. So there are content questions and analysis questions that your child will complete. So here's a quick look inside some of the lessons in part 2. So here is a look inside. Okay, so that is a look inside the Exploring World Geography course by Notgrass History. I mentioned in the beginning of the video that there was one additional component that we added to the course. We wanted our son to be able to start memorizing the location of the countries that he was studying as he was studying them within the course. So what we did is we went to the Gazetteer website. It's a free website that you're able to go and get a lot of great maps. And what I did is I printed off a lot of their maps, the ones that went along with what he was studying. This is an example of the Africa map. So we just went through the area of Africa, he wrapped it up. And so I divided it into the different sections as he was studying it. I color coded it just kind of with a Sharpie. I went in so that he could focus on it and start filling out each area as he was working on it. As he finished up a unit or an area, then they also have quizzes, free quizzes available on their website for each area. I went and printed off those quizzes and had them completed as well. So that as he's going through the course and studying all the different areas of geography, he's also getting to know the location of a lot of the main countries that he is studying. So that was one free resource that I could recommend to add in if you're looking for that as well within your world geography course. If you have a world geography course that has worked really well for your family, please feel free to link it in the comments below. I pray that you and your family are well. I pray you are blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to talking to you soon.